Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a major story that has grabbed attention across the globe. British politician Ed Miliband has publicly told Elon Musk to get the hell out of our politics in our country, a statement that has stirred massive controversy and raised some serious questions about the role of tech moguls in global politics. This is a situation that goes beyond just one individual. It speaks to larger issues about the influence of billionaires on political processes and whether they should be allowed to wield such power over national and international affairs. Miliband's words come at a time when Elon Musk has increasingly involved himself in political debates and discussions across several countries, including the United Kingdom, where his influence seems to be growing in unexpected ways. Miliband, a former leader of the UK Labour Party and current member of Parliament, has been an outspoken critic of the growing influence of tech billionaires in the political sphere. This latest outburst from him is in response to Musk's numerous interventions in UK politics, particularly those that have sparked public backlash. Musk's actions in the UK have caused waves, particularly around his comments on energy policies, which have drawn the ire of political figures like Miliband, who see them as a direct interference in the country's governance. Musk's influence has grown to such an extent that his companies, such as Tesla and SpaceX, have made moves into sectors that affect national policies and markets, including energy, transportation, and even internet access with Starlink. Some view this as a troubling trend of foreign tech giants exerting too much control over domestic affairs. Many see it as a challenge to the autonomy of sovereign nations and a threat to the democratic process. Miliband's statement is part of a broader conversation about the power of big tech and whether companies like Musk's should be allowed to play such a prominent role in the political decisions of other countries. Critics argue that the level of power Musk and others like him have amassed through their companies is unprecedented, and that this creates an imbalance in democratic systems where the voices of ordinary people are drowned out by the financial might of tech billionaires. This growing concern has led to calls for regulation and greater oversight of big tech, not just in the UK but worldwide, as more and more people begin to recognize the dangers of concentrated corporate power in a world where global issues like climate change, economic inequality, and political instability are at the forefront. Miliband's words echo the frustrations of many who feel that Musk is overstepping his bounds and using his vast resources to shape public discourse in ways that suit his business interests rather than the common good. While Musk's defenders argue that his wealth and influence come from his ability to innovate and create industries that benefit society, his critics point out that this innovation should not give him carte blanche to interfere in the political landscape and undermine the democratic institutions that exist to protect the interests of citizens and not corporations. The debate over Musk's involvement in politics is not new. In fact, it has been a point of contention ever since he took on a more prominent role in shaping public policy through his actions and statements. It started with his vocal support for certain political candidates in the US, but over time, his involvement has expanded beyond borders, with Musk's political actions now reaching the UK and other countries. His growing presence in global politics is becoming harder to ignore. This latest outburst from Miliband is a reflection of a larger pushback against what many see as Musk's increasing political involvement. As a tech mogul, his wealth and resources give him access to platforms and decision makers that most people could never dream of reaching, which makes it all the more concerning to those who feel his influence is too far-reaching and too powerful. Musk's impact on politics is felt not just through his words, but through his business dealings. SpaceX has been involved in various contracts with government agencies in the US and beyond, while Tesla's growing influence in the automotive and energy sectors has led to concerns about the monopolistic power Musk's companies could have over markets and industries. Musk's ventures have not gone unnoticed by the political establishment in the UK either. His influence has been increasingly felt in discussions about energy policies, especially as his company Tesla pushes for greater adoption of electric vehicles, and renewable energy sources. This has caused some to wonder if Musk's intentions are truly about creating a better future, or if they are more about advancing his business interests in ways that could benefit him financially while limiting competition or stifling innovation. Miliband's comments specifically focus on Musk's growing influence in the UK, which has raised eyebrows across the political spectrum in a country where foreign influence in political affairs is often a sensitive topic. Miliband's remarks are seen as an attempt to rein in the power of tech giants who seem to be able to sway national politics without being held accountable in the same way that politicians or traditional institutions are held to account. Musk's critics argue that his influence is undemocratic and that it undermines the democratic processes that allow elected officials to make decisions on behalf of their constituents. Musk's influence is not just limited to policy debates or business dealings. It has also extended into the realm of public opinion through social media. Musk's platform Twitter, which he acquired in 2022, has become a significant force in shaping public discourse. Musk's interactions on Twitter often draw massive attention, with his followers reacting to his posts in ways that can sway public opinion and impact political discussions. While Musk maintains that he is simply using his platform to promote free speech and share his opinions, others argue that his online presence gives him an outsized influence over public opinion and political discourse. Many believe that Musk's activities on social media further demonstrate his ability to control narratives and influence political outcomes in ways that bypass traditional media and political channels. Miliband's condemnation of Musk is part of a broader wave of skepticism about the role of tech billionaires in politics. While Musk's critics feel he is trying to influence policy decisions in ways that serve his own interests, supporters argue that Musk's involvement in politics is a natural extension of his role as a business leader and innovator who has changed the world with companies like Tesla and SpaceX. His supporters believe that Musk's vision for the future of humanity can only be realized through global cooperation, and that his influence is necessary to push for the changes that the world needs. But this view is not shared by everyone. In fact, many believe that Musk's power in the political sphere is a dangerous precedent that could lead to more tech moguls stepping into political arenas and further consolidating power in the hands of a few wealthy individuals. Musk's critics argue that if he is allowed to continue influencing national politics in the UK and other countries, it could pave the way for other billionaires to use their wealth to shape policies that serve their personal interests rather than the needs of the people. Miliband's comments are a reflection of a growing concern that the balance of power between tech giants and democratic institutions is tipping too far in favor of big business and away from the needs of ordinary citizens. As the world continues to become more connected and technology continues to play an increasingly important role in our lives, the question of how much influence tech moguls should have over national and global politics will only continue to grow more pressing in the years to come. This issue is not going away anytime soon, and as we see Musk's influence continue to expand, it is clear that there are serious questions that need to be addressed about the role of billionaires in politics and whether their influence is a threat to democracy. Musk's actions and Miliband's response are part of an ongoing conversation that will shape the future of global politics and governance. Will we continue to allow the world's wealthiest individuals to hold power over our political systems, or will we draw a line and push back against their growing influence? The answer to this question will define the future of our democratic institutions and our ability to control the forces that shape our world. As the debate rages on, we will continue to monitor the situation and bring you updates as they develop. Be sure to like and subscribe for more coverage on this and other important topics. Stay tuned as we follow how this political drama unfolds, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree with Miliband's stance, or do you think Musk has every right to shape the future in the way he sees fit? As always, we'll be keeping an eye on these developments, and we'll be sure to bring you the latest. As this story continues to develop, It's clear that the political landscape is being reshaped in ways that few could have predicted just a few years ago. Elon Musk, once known primarily for his technological innovations and ventures, now finds himself at the center of a global conversation about the intersection of business, politics, and power. His actions, from his acquisition of Twitter to his outspoken political views, have made him a figure who can no longer be ignored when discussing the future of global governance. Miliband's response to Musk is part of a larger pattern we're seeing with politicians and public figures across the world. More and more, we are seeing concerns about the unchecked power of billionaires and their ability to influence not only the markets, but the political systems of entire countries. This concern isn't limited to the UK. Around the globe, people are starting to question whether it's appropriate for a handful of individuals whose wealth dwarfs that of most countries to hold such immense power over political decisions. When we look at Musk's ventures, from SpaceX's ties with NASA to Tesla's involvement in shaping global energy policies, it becomes apparent that his influence is not limited to the technology sector. He is actively shaping policy discussions in areas that affect millions of people. Whether it's through the adoption of electric vehicles or renewable energy sources, Musk's companies are at the forefront of some of the most important global conversations about climate change, sustainability, and innovation. But this influence, as Miliband's comments suggest, is not without its risks. Miliband's words have resonated with many who are concerned that Musk is operating without sufficient checks and balances. In a democracy, it's crucial that political power remains in the hands of elected officials who are held accountable to the people. When a billionaire like Musk has the ability to influence elections, dictate policy decisions, and sway public opinion on a global scale, it raises important questions about the integrity of democratic systems. In Miliband's view, and in the view of many others, Musk's political involvement threatens to undermine the very foundations of democracy. The political system is designed to be a representative process where the voices of ordinary people matter. But when billionaires can use their wealth to manipulate political outcomes, that balance is disrupted. Miliband's remarks are a direct challenge to this growing trend, and they represent a call for a return to a political system that prioritizes the needs and voices of the many, not just the few. This growing concern over the power of tech billionaires is part of a wider debate about the role of big business in shaping the future of society. Companies like Tesla, SpaceX, and even Twitter, now owned by Musk, have the power to shape entire industries, influence public opinion, and sway political outcomes. Musk's own behavior, his direct involvement in shaping political discourse, his public statements on social media, and his interventions in policy decisions raises the question of whether we are witnessing the emergence of a new form of corporate rule. For Musk, his involvement in politics and global issues is framed as a necessary part of his role as a business leader. His supporters argue that his wealth and influence allow him to push for progress on issues that matter, such as climate change, clean energy, and technological innovation. They believe that Musk's leadership in these areas is not just a business opportunity, but a chance to reshape the world for the better. His supporters point to his ambitious plans for humanity, from space exploration to sustainable energy, and argue that Musk's interventions are an attempt to address global challenges that governments have struggled to solve. However, this view is not universally shared. Many critics argue that Musk's approach is more about advancing his own financial interests than creating a better world for everyone. For example, Tesla's push for electric vehicles and renewable energy is seen by some as more about capturing market share and consolidating power than a genuine commitment to environmental sustainability. Musk's critics argue that his business interests often align with his political actions, raising concerns about the potential conflicts of interest that arise when a billionaire has such disproportionate influence over political decisions. Moreover, Musk's involvement in political discourse, especially on platforms like Twitter, has raised concerns about the manipulation of public opinion. Musk has been known to make bold and controversial statements on Twitter, which often spark intense debates and public reactions. While some see this as a sign of his commitment to free speech, others argue that it represents an effort to shape political narratives and manipulate public opinion for his own purposes. His massive social media following and his ability to dominate the news cycle have turned Musk into a powerful figure who can sway public opinion with a single tweet. This kind of influence over public discourse is deeply troubling to those who believe that it undermines the integrity of democratic decision-making. The conversation around Musk's political influence isn't just about Musk himself, but about the larger role of tech giants in global politics. As more and more billionaires and tech executives become involved in politics, the lines between business and government become increasingly blurred. This raises important questions about accountability, transparency, and fairness in the political process. Should billionaires like Musk be able to use their wealth and influence to shape policies that affect millions of people? Or should there be more safeguards in place to ensure that political power remains in the hands of those who are accountable to the public? This debate is far from over, and as Musk's influence continues to grow, it's clear that the issue of big tech's role in politics will only become more pressing. As Miliband's comments demonstrate, there are many who believe that Musk and other tech moguls have far too much influence over political decisions. Whether you agree with Miliband's stance or not, the growing concern over the role of billionaires in politics is something we all need to think about as we look toward the future of democracy. As we move forward, it's crucial to ask ourselves, how much power should tech moguls like Musk have in shaping political outcomes? Should billionaires be allowed to use their wealth to influence elections, policies, and public opinion on a global scale? These are questions that we, as a society, will need to grapple with in the coming years. The way we answer these questions will determine the future of democracy and the role of big tech in shaping our world. As always, we'll continue to monitor this story and bring you the latest updates. Be sure to like and subscribe for more coverage on this and other important topics. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree with Miliband's position, or do you think Musk's political influence is justified? We want to hear from you. Stay tuned for more updates as this story continues to unfold.